Hello and welcome to my channel. Today it's the first day of Pitru Paksh. Let me tell you what is Pitru Paksh. It's a 16-day period in the Hindu calendar that honors ancestors or Pitra, the name translated to fortnight of the paternal ancestors. In Sanskrit, with Pitru meaning ancestors and Paksh meaning fortnight. It's believed that during Pitru Paksh, the souls of ancestors return to earth and their families perform rituals to honor them. Some rituals performed during Pitru Paksh include Pindadan, Shrad, and Pitru Tarpan. The origin of Pitru Paksh can be traced back to ancient Hindu scriptures such as the Garud Puran and the Mahabharata. This year it's begin on September 17 and ends on 2nd of October with Mahalaya or Sarva Pitru Amavasya. It is believed that reading Bhagwatgeeta during this time gives peace to our ancestors. So let's read the Bhagwatgeeta, chapter 1, Arjunvisad Yoga. The setup in which the Gita teaching is imparted in the epic battle of Mahabharata fought between the Pandavas and Kauravas. Arjun, the Pandav, discovers the problem of sansar in the battlefield. He surrenders to Lord Krishna seeking a solution, then follows the great teaching. If one should get the Gita wisdom, one should go through some important phases in one's life. Firstly, one should discover the problem of sansar for which Gita happens to be solution. Unless one discovers the disease, one will not seek medicine. Secondly, one should become possessed by a sincere longing for freedom from samsara. This alone can lead to committed and fruitful pursuit. Thirdly, one should realize that one cannot solve this problem independently. The maximum that one can do as a limited human being is a rearrangement or a reshapement of the problem. Finally, one should surrender to a guru seeking his guidance. One discovers the Shishya in one and surrenders to a guru, the ground is prepared for the Gita teaching to take place. The entire first chapter and the first part of the second chapter are devoted to show these developments. The problem of sansar, as shown in the first chapter, can be said to be the problem of attachment, grief, and delusion. When one is not happy with oneself, one has to seek external aids. This leads to dependence and attachment. Since the condition of the dependent factors are unpredictable, the very peace of mind of the person is in trouble. A disturbed mind can make only faulty judgments, complicating the matters further, thus a vicious cycle is created. This, in short, is the problem of sansar. Coming to the text, we find in the first 20 verses a vivid description of the armies arrayed for battle. After a brief instruction of Duryodhan to his commanders, Bhishma, Lord Krishna, Arjun and other blow their conches, signaling the commencement of the battle. At this fateful moment, Arjun commands Lord Krishna, his charioteer, to place the chariot in the middle of the army to synchronize the enemy forces. The mischievous Lord brings the chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona and asks Arjun to survey the army. Till now, Arjun was convinced that his cousins are unrighteous and he, as a Kshatriya, has to fight the battle to establish righteousness. In a moment of weakness, Arjun slips down from reason to relation. Instead of seeing the violators of dharma, he sees his beloved kith and kin. Naturally, Arjun is overpowered by attachment. Then follow the twin offshoots of attachment, grief, and delusion. In the next 5 verses, we see Arjun expressing his intense grief, which shakes him completely. This indicates the extent of his attachment. Wielded by attachment, his discriminative power becomes inoperative. and he commits a series of false judgments. Interestingly enough, Arjun even quotes the scriptures to support his unreasonable stand. Thus, Arjun gets caught up in delusion, which is depicted from the 36th verse up to the end of the chapter. In this way, Arjun finds himself in the deep sea of attachment, sorrow, and delusion. Rag, Sok, Moh. Arjun sincerely wants to get out of this problem. He thinks that solution is to drop the battle, but one corner of his mind is not convinced by this. At the same time, he has not realized that the problem is too deep for him to solve independently. Hence, he doesn't surrender to Krishna either. Thus, caught up in a dilemma, Arjun sits back on the chariot sorrowfully.